Hello everybody, welcome back to another one of my videos. This is Aviation 04, and today we have an airport update of Orlando International Airport. Now before we begin, I just want to wish everyone a very happy new year. I know this year has been quite a rough one, however, hopefully you have been able to find some good in it, and we have a fresh start now, so let's get started. Touching down on runway 18 right, we have this Frontier A320. He's arrived in from Syracuse and he's gonna head out to Chicago O'Hare later. And then we have this JetBlue A321. He's arrived in from LaGuardia and he's now gonna depart out to Windsor Locks. And then we have this Interjet A321. He's arrived in from Mexico City. The reason I put this in, if you didn't know, Interjet is currently not servicing Orlando. And there's a good chance they're actually not gonna make it, so I'm just trying to include them in as many airport updates as possible. So he's arrived in from Mexico City and he's gonna depart out there later. Next we have this JetBlue A320 in the FDNY livery. He's arrived in from Philadelphia and he's gonna head out to Buffalo. And then here we have this JetBlue A321neo. He's arrived in from LAX and he's gonna head back out there. So they've actually started service on the A321neo to Orlando from LAX, so that's really nice to see. LAX has been doing very well for JetBlue, so I hope it continues to stay that way, and he's heading out to LAX. And then next we have this JetBlue A321. He's arrived in from New York John F. Kennedy, and he's gonna head out to Boston. And then next we have this Frontier A320neo. This is Sonny the Collared Lizard. He's arrived in from Atlanta, and he's gonna head out to Washington Dulles. And then we have this Frontier A320neo. This is Wilbur the White-tailed Deer. He's arrived in from Trenton and he's gonna head out to Cincinnati. And then finally, to conclude this airside, we have this Frontier A320neo. This is Poppy the Prairie Dog. He's arrived in from Cleveland and he's gonna depart out to San Juan. And then next we have this JetBlue A320 in the I Heart New York livery. He's gonna depart out to White Plains. And then next we have the Southwest 737-700 in the Canyon Blue livery. He's arrived in from Las Vegas and he's going to depart out to Rochester. And then we have the Southwest 737-800 in the Heart livery. He's arrived in from Portland, Maine, and he's going to head out to Washington, Reagan. And one thing I forgot to mention at the start is we actually have quite a few new models. So this is one of them. This is the Alaska A321neo. He's arrived in from Seattle and he's going to head out to Portland, and he's currently being heavily serviced for that flight. And then next we have a very special model to this airport specifically. It's the Southwest 737-700 in the Florida 1 livery, and he's going to depart out to Chicago Midway. Next we have this Southwest 737-700 in the Heart livery. He's arrived in from Houston Hobby, and he's going to head out to Buffalo. And then parked at the gate we have the Southwest 737-800. He's arrived in from Denver. Taxiing into the ramp, we have the Southwest 737-700 in the Tennessee 1 livery. He's arrived in from New Orleans and he's going to head out to Philadelphia later. And then to conclude this airside, we have this Southwest 737-800 in the Canyon Blue livery. He's arrived in from Raleigh-Durham and he's going to depart out to Baltimore Thorogood. And being heavily serviced, we have this Delta 757-300. He's arrived in from Atlanta or Citrus Aviation's airport, and he's going to depart out to Los Angeles. Next we have another new model. This is the Delta A321 by NG Models. He's arrived in from Minneapolis and he's going to depart out to Detroit. And then just getting his jet bridge detached, we have this Delta A321 in the Thank You livery. This one's by Aero Classics and he's arrived in from Boston and he's now going to depart out to LaGuardia. And just about ready to be lined up on runway 35 left, we have the silver ATR 42. I really hope Gemini makes an ATR 72 eventually. They've been servicing them in a lot recently. But anyways, he's heading out to Huntsville, and he arrived in from Columbia, South Carolina. And next we have a very long awaited airline. This is the Spirit A321. This is the Gemini Jets one. He's arrived in from Fort Lauderdale. That's a very short flight, and they actually operated on the A321. And he's gonna head out to Dallas Fort Worth in about an hour or so. And then next we have this United 737 MAX 9. I know they're currently not flying, however, they have actually been recertified. Unfortunately though, an Air Canada 737 MAX 8 had an engine incident, but I think that was kind of just a one-off thing. I don't think that's a thing across the entire MAX fleet. But anyways, hopefully they'll return them to Orlando again. They were flying to Houston and some other places, And United should have them back in quarter 1 or 2. So that's very, very exciting, and I'm so excited for that. Anyways, he's going to be operating as a 900, and he's arrived in from Houston. He's currently taxiing out to Newark. And here we have the Swoop 737-800. This is a brand new model. Now, Swoop actually isn't servicing Orlando at the current time. They are going to resume back in March, I believe March 11th. So I cannot wait for that day, but I just wanted to feature it as it's a brand new model. He's arrived in from Edmonton, and he's going to head out there. Now, I also need a little help on where they park, because I've seen them flop between where I have them now, taxiing out of airside 3, but then I've also seen them at airside 4, so I'll put them at both places, I guess. So they don't really have a designated spot, so he's gonna head out to Edmonton. Next, we have another Spirit A321. He's arrived in from Newark, and he's going to depart out to Detroit. Following that, we have this American A319. He's arrived in from Miami, and he's going to depart out to Philadelphia. And then next, we have this United 737-800. He's arrived in from Cleveland, and he's going to depart out to Boston. Boston is actually a newly added seasonal service, so that's very cool to see. And then to conclude this airside, we have this American A321. He's getting passengers on board for a flight out to Charlotte, and he arrived in from Dallas-Fort Worth, or Red River Aviation's airport. Now with the Dallas service, they've actually upgraded it temporarily to the Boeing 777, so I hope they'll bring it back eventually. Unfortunately, it's only a temporary service, so he's going to depart out to Dallas-Fort Worth. And then next we have this FedEx 767-300. He's arrived in from Indianapolis, and he's going to head out to Memphis. And next we have the Machine. We have the UPS MD-11. He's arrived in from Louisville, and he's going to head back out there. And then we have this UPS 767-300. He's arrived in from West Palm Beach, and he's going to head down to Miami. These are 2 seasonal services for UPS. And to conclude the update, we have this Allegiant A320. Now I know what you're thinking, what is Allegiant doing at Orlando International? And the reason being is it's actually a sports charter, so I don't really know who they were carrying, but they arrived in from Cincinnati, and then they departed out to Cincinnati, so I was not too sure what was going on, and it's probably something for the NBA. I don't really follow the NBA that much, so I'm not really sure, but there have actually been quite a few sports charters in Orlando, so I cannot wait to represent them. I probably will start representing them in the next couple updates, but that's going to do it. I really, really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. That would be greatly appreciated. I hope you have a fantastic new year, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day, and goodbye.